Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the 2019 District-Wide Arts Festival. We're glad you're here. For your pre-show entertainment, we had our front percussion group under the direction of Mike Monticelli. Give them a round of applause, please. And to accompany our students coming in, we had our high school symphonic band under the direction of Mr. Matthew Bramata. Well, here we are. Doesn't it feel like we were just here? Fifth grade parents, this is your first time tonight. It's a very special night. It's a very special celebration of arts in West Milford. I hope that you leave here tonight being wowed not just by what we offer, but also by how wonderful and amazing your children are. So tonight's going to be an exciting night. We're glad that you're a part of it. To begin our night, I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Alex Anamone.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you and welcome to the All District Arts Festival. Again, one of my funnest nights of the year. I really enjoy our student performances from grades 5 to 12 in music and K to 12 for art and everything else. Extra special thank you to Mr. Pacione. I noticed the Bob Building collection on the side chart. You're going to get a double increment this year on your salary for September. Thank you. Enjoy the evening, everybody.
And we have an announcement from our PTSO president, our PSA for the night, Mrs. Gianetti.
Hi, good evening, and thank you for coming. As some of you may know, tonight is one of my very favorite school events to come as a parent, and so you are in for a treat. If you are hungry or thirsty, I invite you to stop by the PTSO table in the hallway and grab a bite to eat. We are selling Sabrett hot dogs, chips, popcorn, water, coffee, soda, candy, and baked goods. And thank you to anybody who donated baked goods this evening. Also tonight, we are kicking off our annual spring sale of the 50/50 raffle tickets. Tickets are $2 each or $10 for a book of 5. Past winners have often received up to $2,000. As many of you may know or not know, we are no longer be having project graduation held off premises this year due to low student attendance and support. Instead, there will be a senior celebration held at West Milford High School, a decision which was based on student survey by the administration for an on-site event. This senior celebration still requires funding, all of which is paid through fundraising and the PTSO. Please purchase raffle tickets in support of the senior celebration. Tonight, we are so grateful to have Matthew Romeo back again to help us with selling our 50/50 ticket sales. Matthew is a fan favorite for selling tickets and is also a 2008 West Milford High School graduate and the son of Carol Romeo, our former PTSO president. Matthew will be weaving throughout the crowd all night long, and you can just wave him down to make a purchase and tell him how many you'd like. He will have tickets and pens, so simply write down your name and phone number on the tickets. If you miss giving it back to him, just drop it off at the hot dog table out front. PTSO will also have a container at our table if you'd like to make a donation to the senior celebration. And as you have done in the past, we hope that you will support the kids by supporting this endeavor. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
So the group you see before you right here is our 5th grade all-district band. We have over 200 5th graders sitting here. They are led by 3 amazing teachers, and they're going to conduct their part of the program now. So we invite our first conductor, Mrs. Courtney Maddy. fact that 6 months ago they didn't know how to put their instruments together. I think that's pretty impressive. We're very proud of our young beginners, and I have to tell you, we call tonight our concert of hope, because you get to see and hear the growth that occurs from 5th grade all the way through 12th grade. So, and I've been through it. I have 3 kids of my own, and I've listened to beginner trombone players, a beginner clarinet player, and a beginner trumpet player, I guess, most recently. And you wonder, oh boy, here we go, right? But something magical happens. So enjoy tonight, because tonight is that night. Our next conductor, this is Kristen Kelly. Before I introduce our final conductor, I just want to say a few words about these 3 ladies and what an amazing job they do. They talk to each other, they'll tell you just about every day. Our students are on the same page every day because of the communication and the coordination that goes on between them. And I tell you, I feel like in the last couple of years, this group has really taken off, and these 3 ladies are the ones that are the driver behind it. So give them a round of applause. Our final conductor is Christine Paterno. right, moving along, we'll transition now to our Macapin 7th grade band. We'll introduce their conductor, Mr. Matthew Patrick, the 7th grade Macapin band. right, let's give it up once again for the Macapin 7th grade band, Mr. Macapin. And here they are, your Highlander pipes and drums. Under the direction of Joseph and Christine Molinsky. their pipes and drums. Give them another round of applause. Well, I think you're getting a little bit of a window into a very special thing that we have here in West Milford, and that is our arts program. Fifth grade parents, we hope that you take full advantage of this as you go forward. This year, for the 11th consecutive year, and I don't know how far back it goes, because I don't go that far back, but for the 11th consecutive year, we have been selected nationally as a recipient of one of the best communities for music education across the country. Now you might think, well, what does that mean? Well, the way they award this is they take a survey and they ask you to fill out the kinds of, and they ask specific questions about your administration, about your Board of Education, about your community, about what you offer, what extra things that you give your students in your community, what kind of performances you give, what kind of opportunities we give them to travel and to participate in festivals and competitions and honors groups, etc. So when I say all that to you, you need to know that you share in this amazing award, because it is through your support, through the support of our wonderful Board of Education and Administration, and these wonderful teachers. I sound like somebody else, but you get what I'm saying. This is a great community, and we should be very proud of what we do. Give them a round of applause. I have a long list of accolades from this year that I can go on and on and on. And I'm going to save that for just a moment because I want to acknowledge some folks in our audience. And I apologize for not having better eyesight and not seeing all of these people. But the ones that I'm seeing, I want to make sure that I introduce. We have in attendance tonight our board president, Mrs. Van Dyke. And our board vice president, Mrs. Dwyer. And I'm just going to scan the room real quick, and I see some of our elementary principals. Mr. Kane is back there. Our Director of Special Services, Dr. McQuaid. Is that our new Supervisor of Special? Yes, our new Supervisor of Special Services, who sat in this group many years ago, Nina Perskal. Our high school principal, Mr. Matt Stryans. Our Director of Education, Mr. Dan Novak. And I see another elementary principal hiding back there, Dr. Schwartz. And I'm sure that at some point during the night we'll see all of the rest of our group. They are very supportive. So we just thank you all for being here tonight. I want to tell you a little bit of some of the accolades that we've won. Our 8th grade band, which is going to be part of the later performance, just received the Gold Award at the North Jersey Region 1 Festival.
Wow.
Our high school wind ensemble won a Gold Award also at a Region Festival recently. Within our department, we've had several art awards, which you'll see some of their work in the cafeteria if you stop in there between sessions. Some wonderful student awards that have been shown around North Jersey. We've also had a culinary winner. In 2 years, we've had 3 culinary winners. One got a full ride last year to the New York Culinary Institute at Monroe College. And this year we had a 3rd place pastry. And it's a national award, America's Best High School Pastry. Came in 3rd place, $42,000 scholarship. I was reading, by the way, when, some of the stuff that comes out of the national awards that we won, and they pointed out that we worry about getting our kids into college, right? And scores and SAT scores. Did you know that students that take an art class of some kind 4 years in high school score on average 80 to 100 points above those that don't in the SAT? That's pretty significant. There's a lot of brain development that goes on right here that helps in many, many ways. So we see people that move on to other things, become
supervisors of special services that go on into all kinds of fields that aren't necessarily music specific, but are music related. So it's a great, great thing. The last award that I want to talk about is my intro to our high school symphonic band, and we just need to give them another accolade, another round of applause. They are our marching band this year. We're the U.S. band's state champions and national champions. So with that, no pressure, Mr. Ramada. You're on. The High School Symphonic Band under the direction of Mr. Mac Ramada. School Symphonic Band under the direction of Mr. Matthew Gramada. Good job. I'm sure you can see why we are so proud of our students and our staff. So I just want to mention a couple more shout outs. Mr. Citro, I know you're here. Mr. Citro's here, our high school, our Macapin principal. There he is. And I hear Mrs. Fritz is here, one of our board members. Mrs. Fritz, thank you for being here tonight. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're not quite done. We have one last thing to do. But before we do that, let me just take a moment to, again, just remind you, take nothing for granted. We have a tremendous program here in West Milford that has been here for many years. But we recognize that happens largely because of your support and how important it is to you. So we hope that we've shared with you a little bit about what we do and who we are, and we hope that you take a tremendous amount of pride and you continue that pride. There is a lot of hometown pride, a lot of Highlander pride in all that happens here. And these ensembles represent West Milford everywhere they go, and they represent West Milford throughout this town in many different ways. So thank you so much for being here tonight and for all of your support. Now we have one last thing to do, but before we do that, I just want to remind you of the art show in the cafeteria. You have plenty of time, because we're really doing great on time tonight. So you've got some time to wander in there and see some of the amazing student work, meet some of the teachers, talk to them a little bit. And then for those of you that are going to go to the festival in the auditorium, that'll start about 7:15. That's the choral festival. But we're going to end now with our last illustration of the night, well, for this part of the program, of our Concert of Hope. This is Scotland the Brave, which I affectionately call the West Milford National Anthem. And we start with the 5th grade, then we hand it off to Macapin, they hand it off to the high school symphonic band, and then we live on a prayer, hoping for the end. So here we go. One quick thing. I like the music to be the last thing, so I don't want to have to make it enough later. When we are finished, if you would just stay seated until we get the 5th grade out, file them out that way. It would be easier for us if you just give us a minute to do that. So enjoy Scotland the Brave. we've had tremendous accolades this year. I'll tell you, the students have just been on a roll. Group after group after group have won awards, won competitions, and so on and so forth. It's really been an amazing year. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go through the night. But the first group that normally would perform tonight is our indoor guard, our winter indoor guard. And they're not here tonight because they are in Ohio at the Dayton, Ohio Winter Guard International World Championships. They'll be performing tonight at 9:36, and there is a live stream link on the West Milford Arts page if you want to check it out. But they have had an amazing year. They are currently in the top 20 across the country. They're hoping for a top 10 finish. This has been an amazing year for the indoor guard. There are several circuits that they can compete in, one of which is Maine, another one is WGI, and the third is US Bands. So they did, Maine is kind of their main, pardon the pun, kind of their main one, and they won a silver medal last week at the championships for that, which is a great accolade. Yes, give them a round of applause. And they've been slowly working their way up in placings. WGI, they won one weekend. They've been in the top 3 pretty much the whole season in this area, and now they're going after the World Championships of the whole country. So they're hoping for that top 10 finish. And just for fun, they had an open gate last Sunday at Fairlawn High School, US Bands. They wanted one extra show, so they called and said, hey, can we do an exhibition in US Bands? So, well, why did you compete? We like your color guard. They won the championship. Isn't that amazing? Great job. So, all right. Well, the group that you see in front of you is all of our high school choral groups combined into one chorus. And they will be conducted by our high school choral directors, Mr. Doug Haber and Ms. Jordan Barry. And their accompanist,
Before we start, I just want to thank all my little instrumental friends who are helping me. I have my student, Anthony Angello, on the piano. We'll be featuring some of our high school instrumentalists over here, as well as Mr. Russo.
This is the moment you waited for. Searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. Buried in your bones, there's an ache that you can't ignore. Taking your breath, stealing your mind, and all that was real is left behind. Don't play this song before you run it at you. It's only this moment when you're up and touching. Your favorite thing that you see you getting closer. Just a minute, touch it, get up, give it, take it over. The fire is freedom, it's wide open. You're in a moment and you're on the ocean. You tell the world everyone's only know that you know. The time that you wanna go. There's burning on the top of life. There's right away, you're running at night. You're running on the
give it up for our high school choral members. Great job. Thank you, Mr. Haber and Ms. Barry. I should have mentioned this while they were still standing there so you could clap for them. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago now, the Highlander Jazz Choir performed at Roxbury Choral Festival and won the whole show. Gold award. So now that I've mentioned a couple of awards that they won, let me tell you about an award that you've won. West Milford was designated once again for at least the 11th year in a row. It's probably more than that, but that's as far back as I go. At least the 11th year in a row for the best community for music education. It's a very cool award. It's awarded by a National Association for Music Merchants, and one of the ways that they do that is they do a survey and they ask you questions about your community, they ask you questions about what you offer to your students, what opportunities they have outside of just performing in school, what performance opportunities they have in town, how the community supports the group, how the administration, you get the idea, right? Well, here's the thing that I want you to know. You deserve a round of applause because it is through your support that we win this award. Thank you very much. All right, coming onto the stage now is our Macapit All District Chorus. These are select members of our 7th and 8th grade group, and they have been working hard to present these next couple selections for you. I will tell you that I hear them every Thursday afternoon. My office is just down the hall, and they sound amazing. So you are going to really enjoy our all-district Macapit chorus. They are led by Ms. Barry, once again, who's still recovering from the greatest show, and by Mrs. Patchworth. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Open your eyes, let us begin. Yes, it's really keeps
really, really great. Thank you so much. All right. While they're walking off, we have one more quick PSA. Don't forget that there's an art show in the cafeteria. The art show represents art. I'm not sure how low in the grades it goes, but it does go at least to second and third, I think. All the way up to 12th grade. Go and check out and see what's there. Not just visual art, but photography, as well as industrial art. Some really amazing things in there. Just gives you an idea of what we have to offer here at West Milford. Can you tell we're proud of our program? We should be, right? You should be too. We appreciate your support. All right. We're going to ask the all-district chorus to stand where you are. Okay, here we go. Your Kodak moment, Mom and Dad, coming up. Be about 30 seconds where we see somebody standing in front of us. Alright, there it is. There's your moment. Go for it, Mom and Dad. Come on. We have met with this group for 4 month afternoons since the month of February and March, and we have had a great time with them. They have just been a pleasure to work with, and I think you're going to be really happy with what you hear from them. Do you want me to get a picture? Sorry. We've had such a really good time with them, so we think you're going to really enjoy it. So here we go. Let's not listen to me talk anymore. Let me introduce our first conductor, Mr. Russo, who teaches at UGL in Marshall Hill. And he's going to lead them and sing.
Sing out strong.
So, our next conductor is Mrs. Van Sickle. Unfortunately, Mrs. Van Sickle is not with us tonight, and we really miss her. She is our rock in all that we do, and she does a lot of the organization behind the scenes, all of getting the mono off the ride, but we had to figure that out ourselves on Monday. We did good, didn't we? We did all right. But anyway, so I'm going to step in and try not to mess up Mrs. Van Sickle's amazing work. The boys and girls are really good because they only pointed out 3 or 4 mistakes that I made, so it was good. So enjoy one drink. Our next conductor is new to our district this year at Aptua and Maple Road, Miss Katrina Bakeman. Give them another round of applause. They deserve it. You know, one of the things about the arts, and we talk about this a lot, one of the things that's cool about the arts, you can be really, really passionate about it and work really, really hard and have high standards for what you're trying to do, but you can also love every minute of it and have joy while you do it as well. And that's what you saw tonight on the faces of these kids, and that was joy in music. So they really, really deserve another round of applause. Recently, we've heard in the news about parents being concerned about getting their kids into college and have been finding some funny ways to do that, right? Well, one of the things that we've taught for years, and this has been studies for years on this, every year in the Music Educators National Conference, they come up with these statistics. The Arts Council now has been coming up with these statistics. Did you know that a student that takes 4 years of arts class in high school scores on average 80 to 100 points more on the SATs? That's how you get them into college. Teach them to sing, teach them to play an instrument, teach them to take art. That's it right there. All right, well, thank you again for being here tonight. Again, before we leave from this room, we have a finale that we're going to do for you, and I want to get all my announcements out of the way now so that the last thing is the music. Give us a few minutes to get the children off the risers, etc. Give them a chance to get down the hallway. We have, how many of you are in the 6th grade band? Raise your hand. We have to get all of those, and how many of you are in the high school and middle school band? We have to get all those kids back up to the gym. So give us a chance to get them out that hallway and up the way. Those of you that have children that are just in the elementary chorus only, you can meet them in the culinary room across the hallway or right over that way. Those of you that have 5th grade students that were in the band, you'll meet them in the room that you dropped them off with their instruments down this. And if you go up this hallway and up, you'll find the second hallway on the left. It's not as hard as it sounds. Mackinton will be in the library. Okay. All right, so this is our opportunity. I love doing this. We've been doing this song now for a couple of years, and tonight I can say to you honestly, we've never rehearsed this together. We really haven't. We've rehearsed it separately, but this is our first time putting it all together. So this should be fun. So let's see, we still have a few dozen more to get on stage here. Wind Ensemble under the direction of Dr. Brian McLaughlin. All right, well, welcome to Festival number 3. How many have been here all night? All right. Good for you. Here's the good news. On the way out, the hot dogs might be half price. That's not bad, right? Well, welcome to Festival 3 of our 2019 district-wide arts festival. I hope you've had a great night. If you're just here now, you're in for some real fun. We have some great things ahead for you. So we're really glad that you took time out of your schedule to be with us tonight to celebrate the arts here in West Milford. And before we begin, I just want to take a moment to give a shout out. We had some board members in our audience. They may or may not still be here, but I want to recognize them. Mrs. Van Dyke, our board president, was here. Mrs. Dwyer, our board vice president, was here. Who am I forgetting? Mrs. Fritz was here. And Mrs. Romeo is here, our new board member. So thank you so much for your support and for being in attendance tonight. Yes, give them a round of applause. We worked hard. Also want to thank my colleagues for being in the room tonight. Mr. Novak is here, our Director of Education. Our high school principal, Mr. Matt Trians. Our Macapin principal, Mr. Mark Citro. We've seen our elementary principals throughout the night. From Aptua, Mrs. Primavera. From Maple Road, Mr. Payne. Marshall Hill, Mrs. Cash. From PK, Paradise Gold, Mrs. Miller. From UGL, Dr. Matlow. And from Westbrook, Dr. Schwartz. I'd like to introduce a very important person, a very special lady that is very supportive of our program and very supportive of your children in her role as president of PPSO. Would you give it up for Mrs. Gianetti?
Hi, thank you. Good evening. Thank you for coming. As some of you may know, this is one of my very favorite school events to attend as a parent. So if this is your first time this evening, you're definitely in for a treat. And if not, you've been treated all night long. And if you're hungry or thirsty, we still have some hot dogs at our PTSO table. So I invite you to our table to grab a bite to eat while we still have some left. We are selling some bread hot dogs, chips, popcorn, water, coffee, soda, candy, and baked goods. And thank you to anybody who donated a baked goods item this evening. Also tonight, we are kicking off our annual spring sale of our 50/50 raffle tickets. Tickets are $2 each or $10 for a book of 5. Past winners have often received up to $2,000. And I can tell you ticket sales just for this evening so far are at $1,200. And we are only just beginning. Our actual full date is not until June the 3rd. As you may or may not know, there will no longer be a project graduation held off premises this year due to low student attendance and support. Instead, there will be a senior celebration, our high school seniors, held at West Milford High School. A decision which is based on a student survey by the administration for an on-site event. This senior celebration event still requires funding, all of which is paid for through fundraising and the PTSO. So please purchase raffle tickets in support of our senior celebration. Tonight, we are so grateful to have Matthew Romeo back to help us again with our 50/50 ticket sales. Matthew is a fan favorite for selling tickets and is a 2008 West Milford High School graduate and also the son of Carol Romeo, our former PTSO president. Matthew will be weaving through the crowds all night long, so just wave him down to make a purchase and tell him how many you would like. He will have tickets and pens, so simply write down your name and phone number on the tickets. If you miss giving it back to him, just drop it off at the hot dog table out front, please. PTSO will also have a container at our table if you'd like to make a donation to the senior celebration. And as you have done in the past, we hope that you will support the kids by supporting this endeavor. Thank you and enjoy the show.
All right, well, the group right here in the center is our 6th grade band. Give them a big round of applause. They're going to start us off. We've been meeting with them over the last month or so. We saw them twice. We've had some great time with them. We did a dress rehearsal today that was amazing. So we look forward to hearing what they're going to do for us now. So, let's introduce our first conductor from UGL in Marshall Hill, Mrs. Maddie. Conductor, Mrs. Christine Paterno, after Maple Road. conductor is Mrs. Kristen Callahan, Westbrook, Paradise Knoll. I call our elementary teachers our dream team. They work so well together and they provide such a consistent program over all 6 schools. And this is the result of that. Would you give all of them, the teachers and the students, another round of applause? All right, so we're going to transition now to our 8th grade band under the direction of Ms. Erica McPartland. We're going to give them another round of applause because just last week they won a gold award at the North Jersey Regional Arts Festival. I hope you got a chance to go inside the cafeteria to see some of the art show that was going on there. We want to take a moment to acknowledge our amazing visual arts staff and our industrial arts staff. So we'll start first with our visual arts. At the elementary level, we have Mrs. Colleen Minnick, Mrs. Jessica Ziegenbaum, Mrs. Lorraine Poet, and Mrs. Chelsea Pirates. And Macapin, Mr. John Callie. And our high school art staff, Mrs. Jennifer Monago, Mrs. Kathleen Cosgrove, and Mrs. Cynthia Gallagher. Also in absentia tonight is Mr. Peter Shaver, who is out in Ohio with the Indoor Guard, where they are performing at the Winter Guard International World Championships at 9:36, so we're going to try to be done in time. If you want to live stream it, you can do it on your phone on the way home, but don't drive and live stream at the same time. And also, we have our industrial arts supervisor who will introduce her staff, Mrs. Colleen White-Mack.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you had a chance to see some of our really fabulous projects this year. I think we really had some great talent displayed. And that is, of course, because we have super talented teachers. Over here, shy in the corner, we have Mr. Afros, who is our middle school tech teacher. We have Mr. Lenny Van Wingerden. He does our CAD, our architecture in wood. We have Mr. Bob Weedman. He does our graphic arts, animation, computer design, video game design, and wood. And last but not least, we have Mr. Stephen Beatty, who does all of our woodshop classes. Thank you.
All right, let's give them all a round of applause. What a great job these guys do, working with our talented students. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the West Milford Highlander Pipes and Drums, under the direction of Mr. and Mrs. Joe and Christy Smolinski. events, our types of drums. We really appreciate them and all that they do. So, we need to talk about something that's very important. And if you've been here tonight, you've heard me talk about it already, so you know what it is, but you'll still be sound surprised. We won another award, and that is the Best Communities for Music Education, given out by the National Association by Music Merchants. That's a very significant award. There were 40 districts out of the almost 700 districts in New Jersey that won that award. And then, of course, you go across the country, whatever the other number is. But the New Jersey thing was the thing that really struck me. Top 40 districts in New Jersey, right here in West Milford. One of the things that I like to say about this award, and I've always felt this from the first year that I was here that we won it, and before me, and throughout the time that I've been here, it's always struck me just how tremendous this entire community appreciates and supports and has pride in the arts here at West Milford. So you sharing this, because that's a big part of this award, is the community support. So give yourselves a round of applause. In receiving this award, they always give you some other things to read through, and I was looking through some of the different things, and I've heard this for years, and I've cited studies, etc. It was kind of cool to see it, actual chapter and verse with the citing underneath it. But one of the things that I picked up on was, we worry as parents, we want our children to go to college, we want our children to do well on SATs and other testing. Did you know? This is true, and if you want, you can email me and I'll send you the citing. That students that take an arts class for 4 years, on average, score 80 to 100 points higher in the SATs. That's pretty significant. So if we want our students to do better academically, we need to get them involved in the arts. We need to teach them to play an instrument. Brain research says it all the time. One of the best things that you can do for brain development is to play an instrument. So encourage your children to stick with it, keep going. Tonight is proof of where they can end up as they get to the high school. So give them a round of applause. You can all rise for the benediction. My sermon is over. No, I'm just kidding. But all kidding aside, I do want to tell you that we've had tremendous accolades this year, and we're very proud. In all areas of the arts. Our art department have been at shows and have brought home awards. Our culinary people have participated in the best high school pastry chef, won third prize of $42,000 scholarship. West Milford Public Schools, folks, that's what we have to offer. And our band consistently does well. We already mentioned the Macapin Gold Award. The High School Wind Ensemble won a Gold Award just a couple weeks ago at a similar festival. And we're going to hear from our High School Wind Ensemble in just a moment, but not to put any undue pressure on them, but I wanted to mention we should have brought out our 12-foot trophy. But seriously, in fact, if you go into the trophy case down by the auditorium, it's lying on its side, because that's the only way it fits. I wanted to zip tie it to the sign out front. I thought that'd be kind of fun. But this year, our Highlander Marching Band not only were U.S. Band state champions, but they were national champions as well. So here we go. For your listening entertainment, the West Milford Wind Ensemble under the direction of Dr. Brian McLaughlin. Milford Highlander Wind Ensemble under the direction of Dr. Brian McLaughlin. All right. This is my usual joke. We've all come to that part of the concert you've all been waiting for, the end. It's been a great audience. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I know it's hard to give up a whole night, but thank you so much. As you can see, we have a lot to offer and we have a lot to share. And you really deserve a lot of the credit. These children are your children. And it is our privilege to spend a few moments with them every day, getting them to where they are. So give yourselves a round of applause. Just one quick announcement, and that is when we are finished, we're going to just ask you to stay in the stands for just a moment until we get the 6th grade out of here. You can pick them up at the rooms that you dropped them off at. Remember where they are. Just down that hallway to the right. You're down that hallway to the right, but it's a longer right. Either one. Good day. Okay? So this is really a fun part of our concert. This is Scotland the Brave. I affectionately call it the West Milford National Anthem. We hear it all the time with the music department, and we have a lot of fun with it. What's cool about this is that we start out with the 6th grade, then we hand it off to the middle school, we hand it off then to the high school, and you get to hear the progression as it goes from the younger instrumentalists to the older instrumentalists to the more seasoned instrumentalists. And then we hang on for dear life to the end. So here we go, Scotland the Brave.